So from the last episode, let's take the discussion on Jupiter Mahadasha ahead. Today we will be discussing about the two great people, that is Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh, Osho, and the Mahatma Gandhi. The first chart what we will be seeing is of Osho Rajneesh. You can see in his chart, Jupiter is placed in Cancer sign, exalted. It's supposed to be good. But on the second hand, the third placement of the Jupiter in the third house is not supposed to be good. It is called as Maran Karan Sthan, or it is going to create a lot of trouble. So it is placed in third house in exalted position. But over here there is a one peculiar thing which is in this combination, that Rahu is sitting in Pisces, which is the sign of Jupiter, and Jupiter is exalted in third house in the sign of Cancer. Okay, and the Cancer sign Lord, that is Moon, is placed in ninth sign, that is Sagittarius, but in eighth house, that is of the deep research and the knowledge. So there is a circuit which is getting complete. 4, 12, and 9, all Jupiter exaltation or Jupiter's own sign, and they are all connected somehow. And when the Jupiter and the Rahu are in some sort of connection, that is because of the aspect, as in this case, or Jupiter and Rahu are together, normally Rahu Dasha to Jupiter Dasha transfer, or the Dasha Sandhi period is not that bad. If you have got Rahu Dasha and Jupiter not connected to each other, then you will have a very bad Rahu Dasha, last Antardasha, that is Mangal Antardasha in the Rahu Dasha, which is pretty bad. But when the Rahu and Jupiter are connected in some way, it is normally there is a resistance, but still you somehow manage to survive. In his case, Rahu is sitting in Pisces. So as we know, okay, Rahu, wherever it is sitting, the sign and the sign lord, it will enhance those effects. So Rahu enhanced the effect of Jupiter, the lord of Pisces, and the effect of the Pisces sign itself in the Rahu Dasha. So 18 years of Rahu Dasha, he became a very popular spiritual preacher. He set up his ashram in Pune, and Rahu gave him a lot of followers, lot of fame, lot of things, because it is sitting in Pisces sign, as well as it is in 11th house of Ichha Purti, or the wish fulfillment, and the Jupiter is exalted. The owner of the house of Pisces is exalted. His Rahu Dasha ended on 29 December 1978, and Jupiter Dasha started. Jupiter Dasha ended on 29/12/1994. Okay, he didn't survive till that point, but we will see what happened in the Jupiter Dasha. Rahu Dasha made him famous. Big politicians, including Indira Gandhi, Morarji Desai, everybody got in touch with him. But when the Rahu Dasha ends, it troubles everybody. The last 1 year is especially very troublesome. It almost takes away everything whatever the Rahu Dasha has given you, or one person whatever he achieves, or whatever his fame is, or money, whatever bank balance, everything is under threat in the last 1 year. That is what happened to Rajneesh also. In the last 1 year, lot of politicians got started opposing him because of his teachings, and whatever he was trying to tell to his disciples was not accepted widely. Because there was an opposition from the people, government started putting cases on him. He was in trouble. There was a lot of resistance to his activities. So what happened? That was the time when her administrator of his ashram, the lady who was handling all the activities for him, he changed her, and Ma Sheila, uh, another girl, was made in charge of the whole all activities. This is just when the Jupiter Dasha is starting. She had other plans, and she was a very different person from what the earlier lady was. She was very dictatorial. That is what we came to know little later. But as the Jupiter Dasha started in 1978, things also changed for Rajneesh. The government started behaving adversarially. Then they decided in India it is not safe to do preaching because Indians maybe they are not accepting his modern thoughts or his liberal thoughts. So US will be the best place to move in. Initially, Rajneesh was not very interested, but at that time, Mahashila and all, they decided ki let us scout place in USA because USA is more liberal. They will accept his thought. Over here, please notice that his exalted Jupiter is sitting in third house. Third house is supposed to be the house of communication. And he started getting criticism for what he was communicating, what he was preaching. So, in spite of having an exalted Jupiter in the third house, or maybe because it is Jupiter, which is sitting in third house, and the rishis had called it Maran Karan Sthan for the Jupiter. That is very inauspicious placement of the Jupiter, where what he was preaching got him in trouble, and the trouble kept increasing for him. So Mahashila convinced Rajneesh to shift his base to USA, and he shifted as soon as the Jupiter Antardasha ended. That is 16th February of 1981. Jupiter Antardasha in Jupiter Mahadasha ended, and they planned shifting to USA and they shifted to Oregon. So if you can see the normally for everybody's chart, when the Jupiter Mahadasha or any Mahadasha starts, first Antardasha, lot of changes happen in your life, but the person himself is not able to execute anything with respect to that dasha. It is only in the when the second antardasha starts, that is where the person again starts to do activity. So this is what happened to him. Okay, the first antardasha, that is Jupiter Mahadasha, Jupiter Antardasha, he almost began quiet. He stopped preaching. That is called as Maun Vrat. He went in the Mon for 3 years. 3 years he stopped interacting with the commune. He was only speaking to his closest disciples, that is Ma Sheila and two, three more people. And for 3 years he was quiet, just writing books and sitting in his room or meditating. So this is what Jupiter sitting in the house of communication did to him. The pressure from the outside world because of his what he was preaching, and he himself felt like he don't want to talk. 3.5 years he didn't, and that gave Sheila more power because people to understand what Rajneesh wishes or what Rajneesh wants, they had only one source, that is Ma Sheila. She became tremendously powerful. So when they shifted to USA, Rajneesh was not speaking much. So Ma Sheila was controlling everything. Rajneesh even gave her the power of attorney. And because of that, she did all the deals and all the structure which was constructed in the Oregon and the whole ashram Rajneeshpuram, which they constructed over there. That was totally handled by Ma Sheila. She became supremely powerful. And over there in USA, they thought his liberal way of thinking or his open society kind of thinking will be accepted more. But as soon as they set up their base camp, that is in Saturn Antardasha of Jupiter, they set up their new camp in USA, but the locals were conventional Christian families living around that place. His teachings were totally opposed by the local people, and he started having problems with the local community and the local administration and all. So Mahashila planned to take over the whole community itself. She decided they will fight the election over there, and she will be have they will have their own mayor, they will have their own administration. So that way they can control whatever happens in that district, which was totally opposed by all the politicians, including the news reached the Washington DC that some Hindu leader or Hindu yogi has come from India and he is trying to take over this village and this area. So from the Christian community, there was a structured opposition to them, and the fight began. Third house is also the house of valor or parakram. That is, you go for a fight, you initiate something. And Jupiter over there, if you are trying to initiate with your knowledge or your gyan, then it is bound to create more problem because it is supposed to be the house of where we see hand action or the action or the warriors, they hold their sword. It is not a place where you do preaching. If you try to do preaching to a warrior, he might cut your head. So Jupiter is supposed to be in Maran Karastan over here, and that is what was happening to Rajneesh. They were trying to fight with the logic. They were trying to fight with preaching, and the opposite side, they were up in arms. And Ma Sheila, she was another fighter. She decided to arm the commune. The disciples of Osho Rajneesh were given arms and ammunition, and they were trained to fight the local people. And this was becoming very serious. Rajneesh was totally out of control, or he was not able to control Ma Sheila because he thought whatever she is doing is the right way to go ahead, or whatever. I don't know what happened, but he became infamous even in USA, where he thought his liberal thoughts will be more acceptable to the local people. So the communication, Sthan Hani Kare Jiva, that is Jupiter sitting in the house of communication, destroyed the world around him because of his communication. Jupiter is also Lord of 8th house. 8th house rules over research and the deep search for the true knowledge. But with that, it also is the house from where we see insults and humiliation. So when the Jupiter Mahadasha started, he was getting a lot of flack from every side. The media was opposing him, politicians were opposing him. In India, he was getting opposition. In US, he was getting opposition. So this case started in the Oregon case started in Jupiter Saturn, and by the end of Saturn Antardasha, it became so bad that he has to come out of his Maun Vrata and start defending himself. But by that time, the damage has been done. So he was ultimately arrested by the US government for whatever charges. There are too many charges. I don't want to get into the details of the case. But he was arrested and he was given a choice. Either he has to serve prison or leave country. On 23rd October 1985, this judgment was pronounced. He has to leave the country. And that is the fag end of Mercury Antardasha in the Jupiter Mahadasha. Mercury is also in 8th house and Saturn is also in 8th house. So the entire Jupiter period, Jupiter Antardasha, Jupiter Saturn Antardasha, and Jupiter Mercury Antardasha, he went through severe humiliations and including getting a conviction. So as the Jupiter the Mahadasha and the Ketu Antardasha started, he was a man without a state or without a place to live. He just kept hopping from one country to another. He literally was hopping from one country to another. He got into his private chartered plane with few of his followers, and they kept on hopping in Europe, Jamaica, and different countries. Some countries didn't allow them to get down from the plane itself. At some places they were allowed to get down, but they were strictly told not to do any preaching over there. So this went on for 1.5 years. After traveling half the globe, he returned back to India. When he returned back to India, that is in Venus Antardasha of Jupiter, he didn't wanted to go to Pune initially. He stayed in Delhi, Mumbai for a long time, but his health was deteriorating. Jupiter is placed in third house, that is eighth from eighth. Bhavan principle says it is the core of the eighth. So that has started creating health trouble from him. Entire Jupiter Dasha, he was bogged down with the health troubles. And with all this humiliation, legal cases, and hopping from one country to another, that has taken its toll. So in Jupiter, Mahadasha, Venus Antardasha, as we had discussed in the Trump's episode in earlier also, there is a definite change or there is a definite some directional change in a person's life, in all person's life. So he returned back to Pune city ashram, which he has left at the beginning of Jupiter Mahadasha. He came back to the same city in Jupiter Mahadasha, Venus Antardasha. But his preaching was changed. He was more philosophical, and if you go through his biography or through his lectures, you will understand he was a very changed person at that time. He was very bitter of Ma Shila. He was criticizing her in most of his lectures, and he was very bitter of the whole system around him. In next 1.5 years, his health deteriorated very rapidly, and Jupiter Mahadasha, Sun Antardasha, he died. He died of a lot of diseases and all. So Jupiter Mahadasha, though Jupiter is exalted and sitting in Cancer sign in third house, it killed him, it humiliated him, it made him travel from one country to another. The preacher who was admired by millions, even now his ashram is there and even now his followers are there. He was humiliated for this whole 9-10 years. So Jupiter, just because it's a Jupiter, people think that it will be very benevolent. It need not be, and rishis have said it, Maharshis have said it that this is a Marankara Sthan of Jupiter. So the fourth house Jupiter, Cancer sign Jupiter, can trouble you. Trouble it made him famous. It made no doubt made him famous. Once the Jupiter Dasha started, he became a global personality. Everybody around the world knew about him, what he was trying to teach, and why Christians are opposing it, and why America is banning him, why Europe is banning him. So he was in news. He was in news all over the globe for those 9-10 years. So he was more famous, but he was troubled. So it gave him third house things with lot of humiliation. Let us see Mahatma Gandhi's chart. What happened to him in the Jupiter Mahadasha? Mahatma Gandhi's Jupiter Mahadasha started on 15th of November 1939. Before that, he was going through Rahu Dasha. So, as a principle, the end of Rahu Dasha should take away everything what you have earned in the Rahu Mahadasha, 18 years of Rahu Dasha, whatever fame, name, money you have earned. In the last 1 year, it is supposed to destroy that name, fame. So what happened? What happened to Mahatma Gandhi ji? Mahatma Gandhi ji had put up a protege as a Congress president candidate in a Congress election. And Mahatma Gandhi was the biggest leader in Congress. So it was, everybody thought that his protege or his nominee will be winning election. But Subhash Chandra Bose, the great leader Subhash Chandra Bose, defeated Mahatma Gandhiji's nominee in the election. And that defeat Gandhiji took personally, and he walked away from the Congress functioning. So Rahu Dasha end basically defeated him politically in the party he was working for last so many years. Rahu is placed in 10th house. So 10th house Rahu gives you phenomenal success. But in the end, in the last final year, it will take away that success. And for first 1 year of the Jupiter Mahadasha, 1.5 year basically, nothing major will happen. It will change your food habit, it will change your behavior habit, it will change how you look at the world, but nothing constructive or big on the career front or other fronts will happen. So first 1.5 years, nothing big happened. But suddenly, the people who had defeated Gandhiji's protege, they started opposing Subhash Chandra Bose, sir. And Subhash Chandra Bose, realizing the opposition and people are still loyal to Gandhiji's thought process, and Subhashji had a different thought process to Gandhiji's thought process, he left Congress and he withdrew from the Congress process. So Gandhiji again became active in the Congress in the end of Jupiter Antardasha. That is Jupiter Mahadasha, Jupiter Antardasha towards the end, last 5, 6 months, 8 months. Again, Gandhiji became active in the Congress, and then he has to regain his power, he has to regain his authority, he has to regain whatever he has lost. So, in 1942 August, he announced a very big andolan or a protest march that is called as Quit India March. It is still taught in the history lessons, and that was a very big success all over India. It started in the Antardasha of Saturn. He became, or he regained his power again, he regained his fame again, he became again the most important leader in India. Britishers were scared of him, they put him in the jail. So Jupiter, Mercury, he was put in the jail, but when the Second World War started, they wanted his help because they wanted Indians to fight for Britishers in the European countries. So they wanted his help, so they had to get him out of the jail. And the negotiations for the India's independence started. So he was the most powerful person in the Mercury Antardasha of Jupiter. Mercury is sitting in the ascendant, and Jupiter from seventh house is looking at the Mercury. So Antardasha of Mercury again made him very powerful and the most important person in India. But as soon as the Mercury Antardasha ended, that is in October of 1946, Ketu Antardasha started. Ketu is sitting in the fourth house. So Rahu is very auspicious in the 10th house, but in the fourth house Ketu, it creates some trouble. And the partition thought, the whole partition of India and the discussion around it and the riots around it started in around that time. And it slowly increased, and when India got independent in the August of 1947, the riots were almost a daily phenomena throughout the India. As soon as the Ketu Antardasha ended, the riots were at a peak, and the people of India started blaming Mahatma Gandhi for the partition. Lot of people, not everybody, but lot of people thought that Gandhi ji was too lenient towards the Muslim part or the Muslim League, and just to keep them together or just to appease them, he is giving away land, he is giving away the country's money, resources, which is very unfair to the people who do not want partition. So there was a section of Indians who started hitting him. And this happened in Jupiter, Mahadasha, Venus, Antardasha. As we discussed in the Trump's downfall episode, this is a period where suddenly your destiny takes a twist. Maybe because the Maharshi says Jupiter is the uh, teacher for the Devas or the good people, and the Shukracharya or Venus is the teacher for the Asuras, who are the bad people, supposedly bad people. So basically, these two combining Jupiter Mahadasha, Venus Antardasha, or Venus Mahadasha, Jupiter Antardasha, it changes the path you are walking on, or destiny suddenly takes a turn in that time. And this is very normal, very common in most of the charts which I have seen. So what happened? He got shot. In Venus Antardasha, which is a Lagna Lord, sitting in Lagna and Jupiter aspecting it, he died. So any dictum if you see Lagna Lord sitting in Lagna is very strong. Then Jupiter aspecting Lagna, it is strong. So at least in the Venus Antardasha he shouldn't have got shot. But he got shot, he got killed, he got assassinated. So what do we understand from this? We understand that he became more famous. Killing him made him more famous. That is a positive way of looking at it. But you might die in Venus Antardasha of Jupiter Mahadasha. That is a truth. But he became so famous that his fame continues even till date. So that Jupiter Mahadasha, Venus Antardasha suddenly catapulted him into a immortal figure. Now he is being taught all across the globe. Everybody across the globe knows his name. So Jupiter Mahadasha definitely grows your importance. Like in Osho's chart, we saw that he became a global personality in that time. Mahatma Gandhi ji was already a global personality, but he became too famous, or he became somebody whom you should emulate, who lived on ahimsa and got killed, got assassinated. So Jupiter will give rise your status, but that doesn't mean that there won't be any other problems. There will be troubles. People will hate you. People will like you. You will lose money. You will. Osho had 93 Rolls Royce in USA. When he was living in Oregon, he had 93 Rolls Royce. On a chartered jet, he left USA and he kept hopping all over the globe. So, in spite of all the wealth, he was stateless. For almost 2 years, he was just hopping all around the place. And people were taking his teachings in a very negative sense. So, Jupiter will exaggerate whatever qualities it is supposed to give you. There are always a good and negative side, positive and negative side of any planet sitting anywhere. So in all these three episodes, the Trump's downfall episode, the Indira Gandhi and Churchill episode, and this episode, I am trying to just explain this कि planet will do its karakatva or expansion. The Jupiter is supposed to give an expansion. It will give you expansion. It will make you prime minister. It will take you to the big position. What will happen to the common guy? Yes, common guy will get promoted. He will get maybe a sarpanch or corporator, or some he will win some election, or he will get some authority, or he will buy some property. He will get a rise in his profession. But the rise means that many more troubles also, either on health front or on professional front or some other front. But there both the things will be increasing. It is not that Jupiter is a benevolent planet, so it will only give good. No, it will not happen that way. No planet gives you only good, or no planet gives you only bad. In the next episode, I'll be talking about Saturn Mahadasha. So we will understand it better, because Saturn is not supposed to be a benevolent planet. But it also gives you a Raju. It also makes you strong. In the next episode. See you there.